Yes, Mike, absolutely.
Okay, and your location is going to be just to the west of Dibble.
Just 1 mile west of Dibble, and we are just right on the edge of the circulation at this time. The circulation would be about 1.5 miles to the west-southwest of Dibble.
Okay, Hank, appreciate that. Stay on the Gentner here with us because we'll want to check in with you for sure. Let's, you see the storm tracker right here and also your track time of arrival on that. It's hanging way down on the southwestern side of that supercell. Large hail damaging winds in the purple up there. So you see the Stinger hook here coming around right now just to the west-southwest of Dibble. So there's the Stinger hook coming around. Let's go back to Mark Dillard. He is on this storm as well. Let's take a look at his stream. Tornado warning continues now for Cleveland and McLean counties right now on the county line west of Dibble. Mark, what do you have?
Yes, Mike, I'm going through Washington right now. I'm just ahead of this storm by about, I'd say, 4 to 5 miles. The sirens are blowing in Washington, so folks, get ready to take cover if you're in the path of this. Because that was Hank just said, and as we've been tracking, it's basically Chickasha. It's gone through several cycles, and at any point, it could get it back together and put down a tornado. And the parameters are really right on point for that today. So I'm sitting up here on a high spot, Mike. I'm just to the west of Washington proper here, looking back to my west and just a hair south at this large circulation center here. And it's got a lot of scud and fingers hanging down. And as Hank was saying, he was pretty close to it localizing just a few minutes ago. And I'm in a total agreement with that. And Mike, at any point, it can localize at the ground level and be lifting debris, but not look as connected at the top. So it's a matter of time, I think. This is really the best organization it's had all day. It's in a better environment as far as inflow, I believe, and it's looking a lot better than it did even 20 minutes ago back towards Tabler and Chickasha. Back to you.
Mark, appreciate that. Mark Dillard. If Hank Baker's still with us, we're looking at Mark Dillard's stream. What do you think about this wall cloud right now? Pretty much over Dibble.
Yes, it is, Mike. It actually would be looks to me like it'd be just to the south and west of Dibble. We've got some. It's got some circulation. It looks like it's still trying to organize a little bit. Like Mark said a few minutes ago, it looked like it could just, we'd start seeing debris on the ground at any time. It doesn't quite have that look right now, but we are definitely right under it, Mike, and we're keeping a really close eye on it. We are located right at Highway 76 and Highway 39, just to the southwest of Dibble by about 3/4 of a mile. Mike, back to you.
Okay, appreciate that, Hank Baker. Let's go to the storm tracker. Here's the broad view to give you an overview of what we have going on right now. There's a tornado watch in effect till 10 o'clock tonight. We have several storms out here. We have 2 storms that have tornado warnings on them right now. This one now on Highway 33 west of Cushing. Funnel clouds continue with that one. We're going to check with Reed, Timmer, and Dominator 4 on the Cushing tornado warning. And that is now east of Perkins, but there are severe storms back into the Perkins area with large hail and damaging winds. The tornado part of the storm is between Perkins and Cushing right now. Still a developing supercell, no earth shattering with it right now coming into Cedar Valley, but it's spinning and it has some hail with it, likely nickels, could be a little bit of quarters just to the southwest of Cashin right now. Nichols, maybe a couple of small quarters just southwest of Cashin. Not totally going gangbusters right now. That's good. And then we have a tornado warning on this storm right here. This is going to be just southwest of Dibble. And that's going to be heading for far south Norman, Noble, and Purcell. We've got storm trackers, Hank Baker, Mark Dillard on this one. We've got Emily Sutton, as well as Reed Timmer, the chopper on this one near Cushing. Chopper's actually coming back to Edmond here to KFOR to gas up with a full tank of Jet A. Since we're kind of in a lull here, but he'll be coming back in here momentarily. And then down here by Fletcher, Cement, Cyril, we have severe thunderstorms here with large hail and wall cloud from Troy, Christensen, 6 miles north of Fort Sill. So large hail and damaging winds over here with some golf balls at least down in northern Comanche County and southern and southeastern Caddo County. That storm is severe. So tornado warning at Dibble. Tornado warning west of Cushing. Oklahoma County right now, we're looking pretty good. We're under a tornado watch till 10 o'clock for this entire region. If we have Reed Timmer in the Dominator, let's go back to Reed on that Cushing tornado warning. Reed, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm looking at northwest.
Yeah.
Ripley, it looks like the cone puddle that is consolidating, and this thing is having rotations increasing dramatically. dramatically. Before, you'd have these little spin-ups in the whole.
All right, his phone's a little sketchy here, so I'm going to jump in. He talked about little spin-ups, so we're still getting these funnel cloud reports, and that's going to be for you folks in Cushing on Highway 33 right now. This is kind of rugged terrain up here, some hills and valleys up here between Perkins and Cushing, and Reed's in a valley right now in the Dominator. But there's a pretty good chance it's produced a couple of little bouncy, weak tornadoes in between on the east side of Perkins there. Sure looked like it from what Reed was saying and what we had on the velocities and Emily Sutton and Mike Bennett. So that's a continued tornado warning there. This one still tracking toward Guthrie, Lake Lottawatta, Cedar Valley. It has some nickels to small quarters with it right now. And Oklahoma County, we're looking good currently. We're looking good. The dry line's still out here to the west, and this is the second fire on the dry line right here, and it's still only 3:30 in the afternoon. So we've got a long road to hoe here as far as, getting through the peak heating of the day. It's so early in the afternoon right now. Meanwhile, we have a tornado warning down here on the south side of Dibble. Let's go back to Mark Dillard, and you see your time of arrival there for Dibble. Washington 346, Goldsby 348, Purcell at 4 o'clock. Let's go back to Mark Dillard with a live update. Mark?
Yes, Mike, it just continues to turn, very, very broad rotation. Occasionally it will kind of localize into what looks like it might be trying to form a more laminar funnel right there at the base of that wall cloud. But you can really see how many, I'm going to call them fingers, that are hanging down, just individual sections of rotation that are just basically in a what I would describe as a carousel. They'll turn all the way around very slowly. Some will separate, some will go one way, some will come back the other, and it's just very slow. Now at the ground level, whether or not it can localize and begin to lift debris or start to really put down a tornado remains to be seen. It's just such a broad area of circulation, and at times it looks like it may get tighter and start to ramp up, and then just as soon as that, it slows down and kind of breaks apart. So I know Hank Baker's back over towards Dibble, and we're just going to sit right here with it. And I'm on the west side, or I'm on the east side, he's on the west side. We've got it covered like a blanket. Mike, back to you.
Appreciate that, Mark. We know the folks down in McLean and Cleveland counties appreciate that as well. Tell you what, there's the time of arrival with that, in particular Purcell by 4 o'clock. It's in the immediate Dibble area right now. In fact, if Hank Baker's still with us, Hank, I'm still okay. If Hank calls us back, let us know. It's really literally right there on the west-southwest side of Dibble right now. So Mark Dillard, be sure to chime in here if we get any type of tornadic activity dropping down. It's going to go right down Highway 39 from Dibble over to Washington, Washington over to Purcell, near and south of Noble. Near Noble, south of Noble, and far south Norman. You folks in South Norman could get some big hail. Let's go to the South Doppler, take a look at it. Right now, I'd say this is the most serious storm in the state. The Chickasha tornado warning storm, I'd say, is just right under this level. They both have tornado warnings on them. So you see the stinger hook here? Stinger hook. You got a hook, yes, and then even on the hook, you got a little stinger right here. On the Moore tornado, the tornado itself was on the tip of that stinger. Now, I'm not saying this is an F4 and F5 tornado. I'm just saying the way that you look at it, the tornadoes are often on the little top part of the actual scorpion stinger, and that's right over Dibble right now. So that's the immediate tornado warning. That's Highway 33. There's Washington. There's Lloyd Noble Center at the top of your screen. Here's Noble right here, and there's Purcell right there. Now let's go back to the storm tracker, and tornado warning continues for that storm. And let's go back to the storm tracker, and let's back out here and kind of give you an overview. We've got southeast of Ripley on the ground, okay? Southeast of Ripley on the ground, tornado. Control room, do you guys have Reed? Tell me.
I'm on it, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go, Reed.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the tornado on the ground right now. I have visual the whole entire base. If it is, it's a very weak circulation. Right now, actually, the circulation's broadened a little bit. There are some scud fingers lifting up, but I'm not seeing that tornado on the ground at Ripley at this time just yet. But it is a broad wall cloud with a big inflow band feeding it to the east side. And that probably up to the north is what they're talking about. There's little scud fingers that'll reach down, but nothing consolidated yet.
Okay, east side of Ripley, Reed, right? By about 2 miles.
It's a very weak circulation, but I mean, still they can intensify very fast. And so I'm looking to the north, and there's a very weak rotation, maybe a little bit of condensation.